Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off your hot and cold water supplies. In this video, we're going to show you how to change out the Samsung washer suspension rod. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new suspension rod. The suspension rod supports the tub inside the washer. The main reason you'd be changing it out is if it's worn and starting to make noise, or it's totally failed and the washer is going out of balance. In order to change the part, we have to go to the back of the machine. Now that we're on the back of the machine, we have access to the water fill hoses. They're located right here in the center of the machine. We're going to take off the hoses. If yours aren't labeled, make sure you label them so you don't mix them up. And then we're just going to use a pliers to break them free. Then unscrew them by hand. Now that we have the hoses off, we're going to use a Phillip screwdriver to take out the screws that hold the top on and the access panels down. For this access panel, we're just going to take out this screw so it makes it easier to get this access panel off. Once you have the screws out, you can just pull on the lower panel and then pull the upper panel out of these two tabs right here and off this tab. Once you have the access panel off, we can go back to the front of the washer. Now that we're back around front, we're going to open up the lid, and then we have to remove the screws that hold the top down. So we're just going to use a small flathead screwdriver to pop out these rubber grommets. Once you have the grommets out of the way, we can use the Phillips screwdriver to take out the screws that hold the top down. Once you have the screws out, we're going to lower the lid down and we're going to tape it down on the side where it's a little bit wider so when we lift the top up it doesn't fall. Once you have the lid taped down, we're going to lift up the top. Just want to be careful as you lift it up. There's really no hinges on the back or anything, so you're going to have to lift up on each side, kind of hook it in place. These little cutouts that hold it up, and then we're going to support it with a pole or a stick or whatever you have. Now that we have the top up, you just want to be extra careful that it doesn't fall. These hinges can sometimes slide if you knock it around too much. Once you have it up, we have access to the suspension rods. There's 4 of them. They're all the same. They're sold individually, but they're all changed out the same way, except for this back one. If you were changing the one on the back, you just have to reach in and unclip this from the suspension rod. And then when you have the new one in, just clip it back in place. In order to change the suspension rod, just want to grab it underneath the ball socket right there and lift up on it so it comes out the slot. And you want to lower it down so it drops out of the groove down there in the tub. Once you have it free, you can pull it out of the washer. Here's the old suspension rod next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. To put the new suspension rod in, we're just going to lower it down and hook it into the tub. Once you have it hooked in there, we're just going to grab the tub and lift up on it and hook the suspension rod into the frame. Once you have the suspension rod installed, you can lift up on the top assembly and pull the support out. Then we're going to lower it down, push it back so the mounting tabs go over the back. Once you have the top back in place, we can take the tape off, and then we're going to lift up the lid. You can use the Phillips screwdriver to put in the screws. Once you have the screws in, we can put the rubber covers back on. All you have to do is line them up and push them in. Once you have those in, we can close the lid and go around back. Now we're going to put the smaller access panel on. Just want to lift it into place and slide it onto the lower panel, and then put the tabs in over here. Push it back into place, and then we can use the Phillips screwdriver to put in the 2 screws. Then we can use the Phillips screwdriver to put in the 2 screws that hold the top on. Now we can put the fill hoses back on. Just want to make sure you get the hot on the hot and the cold on the cold. Just gonna get them started by hand so we don't damage the threads. Then we can snug them down with the pliers so we don't get any leaks. Once you have them tightened down, we can plug it back in, turn the water on, and take a burst spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.